Hello, y'all. It is July 2nd, 2021. And as I said yesterday, I am being very intentional with the conversations that I'm having and how I am listening to God this month. This is my birthday month. July 17th is my birthday. And so today I had a very intentional conversation with my mother. So my mother called me over to help her with cutting some corn, and she asked my daughter to pay attention because one day she would have to do that for her husband. And my daughter said, "Well, I'm not going to cook this kind of stuff." And my mom said, "If that's what your husband wants you to cook, then you learn how to cook it." And so I just saw that as a generational lesson that I learned from my mother, and she's wanting to pass down some of those recipes or techniques with my daughter because one day she will use them, even though she doesn't think that she will use them. And so that ties into what my shirt says. My shirt says faith. So I have looked up that verse in Hebrews 11 that talks about now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And a lot of times we've heard that verse, and a lot of times we've heard it preached and expounded upon. But I just got to wondering about that verse. And faith is the substance of things hoped for. And so, in order to have faith, you have to know what you want, what you desire. And you need to know what you're asking for and what you're hoping for. And it's not just frivolous hope that we have. It is a hope that we know that God can do anything. So it's not necessarily the things that we want, it is the relationship that we have with God. That anything that we ask according to His will, He hears us. And, when you think about that, you can have confidence in approaching God in prayer, just talking to Him, knowing that if it's His will, then He hears us. Well, how do we know His will? His will is His word. So we have to, as believers, get into His word to find out what He wants and what He desires. And that becomes our desires as well. Well, faith is something that is generational, that should be passed down. When we hear about the story of the Israelites, and they had an amazing testimony, but they were supposed to share it with their generations so that when their generations ask, how did this happen for our people? Or how did God bring us out of this? They were supposed to have an answer for their descendants. They were supposed to know and really direct them and point them into their faith and their relationship with God. And that is exactly what we need to do as believers, pointing the next generation to have a relationship with Christ. So this lesson was more than about corn. It was about faith and passing down our faith. I am so blessed to have a mother who is still living, who could share stories and techniques and traditions with us. But I'm so thankful that she's a believer and she's able to share her faith with us. Thank you for tuning in to July 2nd. Let's see what God says July 3rd. Have a great day.